Sweden's decision to order additional IRIS-T SLS air defense launchers marks a significant step in the country's ongoing transformation from a traditionally neutral state into a frontline contributor to collective security in Northern Europe. The move reflects not only immediate threat perceptions shaped by the war in Ukraine, but also a longer-term reassessment of how modern air and missile threats must be countered in an era of drones, cruise missiles, and highly dynamic strike concepts. In this sense, the IRIS-T SLS order is less about a single weapon system and more about how Sweden conceptualizes air defense as a core pillar of national resilience and NATO interoperability. The security environment surrounding Sweden has deteriorated steadily over the past decade, but the pace of change accelerated sharply after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The widespread use of unmanned aerial vehicles, loitering munitions, and long-range cruise missiles in Ukraine has demonstrated that even states far from the immediate front line cannot assume immunity from air attack. For Sweden, with its long coastline, critical ports, dispersed air bases, and key industrial infrastructure, the vulnerability of low-altitude airspace has become a central concern. Short-range air defense is therefore no longer a secondary or supporting capability. It is a frontline requirement. The IRIS-T SLS system is designed precisely to address this layer of the threat spectrum. Unlike long-range systems that focus on high-altitude aircraft or ballistic missiles, IRIS-T SLS specializes in intercepting targets flying low and fast, including cruise missiles, helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft, and a wide range of drones. These are the systems most likely to penetrate national airspace in a surprise or saturation attack. By expanding its inventory of IRIS-T SLS launchers, Sweden is closing a gap that has become increasingly apparent across Europe since 2022. From a technical perspective, IRIS-T SLS builds on the well-established IRIS-T missile family, originally developed as an advanced short-range air-to-air missile. The surface-launched variant retains the missile's highly capable infrared seeker, which offers strong resistance to countermeasures and high accuracy against maneuvering targets. This commonality between air and ground variants is strategically important for Sweden. It simplifies logistics, training, and sustainment, while also reinforcing the link between the Swedish Air Force and ground-based air defense units. In practical terms, it means a more integrated approach to defending airspace, rather than treating fighter aviation and air defense as separate domains. The choice of IRIS-T SLS also aligns closely with Sweden's broader defense industrial strategy. Sweden has long emphasized the importance of maintaining a strong domestic defense industry, not only for economic reasons, but also for strategic autonomy. While IRIS-T is developed in cooperation with European partners, Swedish industry plays a significant role in system integration, sensors, command and control, and operational concepts. This ensures that investments in air defense translate into national competence and long-term technological leverage rather than simple off-the-shelf procurement. Politically, the order sends a clear signal about Sweden's posture within NATO. Since joining the alliance, Stockholm has moved quickly to demonstrate that it intends to be a security provider rather than a passive beneficiary. Strengthening short-range air defense contributes directly to NATO's northern deterrence posture, particularly in the Baltic Sea region. Swedish territory, airspace, and infrastructure are critical for reinforcement routes, maritime surveillance, and air operations in a crisis involving the Baltic states or Finland. By enhancing its ability to defend these assets against low-level air threats, Sweden increases the credibility of NATO's overall defensive planning. The timing of the IRIS-T SLS order also reflects lessons learned from Ukraine's air defense experience. Ukrainian forces have shown that layered air defense, combining long-range, medium-range, and short-range systems, is essential to cope with sustained missile and drone attacks. Even the most capable long-range systems can be overwhelmed or bypassed if short-range defenses are insufficient. Sweden's investment suggests that these lessons have been internalized at the strategic level. Rather than focusing exclusively on high-end capabilities, Stockholm is prioritizing balance, redundancy, and resilience. Another important aspect of the decision is mobility. IRIS-T SLS is designed to be highly mobile, allowing it to protect maneuvering forces as well as fixed sites. This is particularly relevant for Sweden's defense concept, which emphasizes dispersion and flexibility. In a conflict scenario, Swedish forces are expected to operate from multiple locations, including temporary bases and dispersed infrastructure. A mobile short-range air defense system can move with these forces, complicating an adversary's targeting and reducing the effectiveness of precision strikes. The focus on countering drones deserves particular attention. The war in Ukraine has demonstrated that drones are no longer niche assets, but central elements of modern warfare, used for reconnaissance, targeting, and direct attack. Many of these systems are relatively inexpensive, making them ideal for attrition strategies against high-value targets. By expanding its IRIS-T SLS inventory, Sweden is investing in a capability that can address this challenge without relying solely on expensive long-range interceptors. This cost-effectiveness dimension is increasingly important as European defense budgets, while growing, remain finite. Strategically, Sweden's move fits into a broader European trend toward rebuilding air defense capacity that was allowed to atrophy after the Cold War. For decades, many European countries assumed that air superiority would be guaranteed by alliance air power. Recent conflicts have shown that this assumption is no longer sufficient, especially against adversaries capable of launching massed missile and drone attacks. Sweden's IRIS-T SLS order can therefore be seen as part of a continental rebalancing, where national air defense regains prominence as a core mission. Looking ahead, the expansion of short-range air defense may also shape future procurement decisions. IRIS-T SLS is one element of a layered architecture, and its effectiveness will depend on integration with sensors, command systems, and higher-tier interceptors. Sweden is likely to continue investing in networked air defense, ensuring that data from radars, fighters, and allied systems can be shared in real time. This integration is particularly important within NATO, where interoperability is as critical as individual system performance. The decision also has implications beyond Sweden's borders. Other Nordic and Baltic states are closely watching how Sweden structures its air defense, especially now that the region is increasingly viewed as a single strategic theater. Shared systems, common training, and compatible doctrines could enable more effective regional air defense cooperation. In this context, IRIS-T SLS may become not just a national asset, but a building block in a wider Northern European defensive network. In conclusion, Sweden's order of additional IRIS-T SLS air defense launchers represents a carefully calibrated response to a changing threat environment. It reflects lessons learned from recent conflicts, reinforces Sweden's role within NATO, supports national defense industry objectives, and addresses the growing challenge posed by drones and low-altitude missiles. More importantly, it signals a strategic mindset that prioritizes layered, resilient, and integrated air defense as a foundation of national and collective security. As Europe continues to adapt to an era of renewed great power competition, decisions like this illustrate how mid-sized states can translate strategic foresight into concrete capability, shaping not only their own security, but that of the wider alliance.